Hello everyone. With you, Krivulya and Charly, and this is the 5th episode of the series about creating hair in Ornatrix Maya and V-Ray for the character Commander, who was created by Samir Mir. In this video, I continue to work with guides and different modifiers, as well as a little rendering, analyzing the result. Just a reminder that you can become a channel sponsor and get a 95% discount on all my assets, voiceovers in another language, etc. Also, if this is your first time on this channel and you want to know what it's about, as well as support me, watch the channel's trailer and read all the information in the attached commentary, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. I would be very grateful for that. Now, let's go to watch this episode. So, I keep working with the guides. This time, I will try to comment on everything. I think you have already realized that hair creation is a pleasant meditation. And I'll try to explain what's happening on the screen right now. Look, I am now isolating a paired group of guides, because that's how I feel comfortable working with them. Next, I hide the rest of the guides so they don't get in the way. I think it's clear what it's for. Then, on the new guides, assigning another group. So that, first of all, it was convenient to select them. And secondly, so that they are visually different, and it was better to see the intersections. Thanks to the different colors, we see them better. Next, I try to add an even number of guides. For example, there is one missing here. According to my observations, this is how you get the best interpolation of hair. And if you do clump-like guides, it will be easier to control everything. I told you before that Ornatrix doesn't have clear rules on how to do everything. It is very flexible in that respect. Next, I'm in the process of smoothing out the shape of the lower guides, so that nothing overlapped and there was the same direction. Or, not exactly like this one. The main thing here is to have a smooth flow of all the guides. Naturally, this is not always the case. But, in our case, it's just the hair that's smoothed back, with a bit of chaos. Another trick I often do is for convenience. Before I show all the hair, I choose the right group. And in the end, I see what I have to work with next as it remains selected. Next, selecting the group of guides that are below. Since they have not yet been assigned a group, I allocate one at a time. Now, you can invert the selection and hide all the other hair. As a reminder, you can now do it differently and much faster, using the button Hide Non-Selected, which I have already shown in a previous series. We continue to work with the guides. Here, I decided to assign another group, since I don't like the color. Soon, the developers have promised to add a choice of color. Again, the standard trick of selecting the entire group. And select the group of guides that are below. Here, I cheated a little bit. Yes, I knew that the extra guides would be selected, but that wouldn't stop them from being hidden. And for those who are left, we'll assign another group. This is where I look to see where there is excess space, and adding the missing guides. By the way, thanks to interpolation, it can be done faster. How? I'll show you in the next episode. Because, right now, I don't want to delay the release of this episode. So, I chose new guides and assigned another group. There are still low ones left, and I'll hide them for now. And with these, I'll keep working. So, as you remember, I'm trying to fill in the empty space. So, I'm adding another guide in this area, and aligning the rest. We are making the lower guides a little bit longer than the upper ones. Thus, the hair will be formed in the right direction. Repeat the familiar selection trick. Again, we see that some of the guides are of the same group. Hide the unnecessary, and to those that are left, later we will assign another group. Here, I turned on the mask to check the correct location of the guides. And we see that we can still add them in this area. If you don't add them, your hair will stick out in the wrong direction. After all, where there is white, they will grow anyway. So, let's see what we get. Here, you can see that the clump did not work. This is because I originally applied it to a certain group. But then, when I was recording this moment, I didn't understand it at first, because I was increasing the amount, hoping it would work. And the fact that the group is assigned did not pay attention. Sometimes that happens when you're trying to create and think about what the tutorial is going to be about at the same time. It was a little later at this point that I realized it and deleted the assigned group. In the end, as expected, Clump worked. Now you can put all the values back. Turn on the O to better see the clumps and their shadow. After all, Viewport Maya is great because you don't always have to render. But still, let's see how the hair looks on the rendering. And let's set up the hair shader. I can see now that it turned out more lush than on the reference. Here, I sped up the video a bit and continued to analyze the refs. Here, too, we see that we need to press a little on top. I turn off the IPR and continue working. First, let's fix this part. At the front, though not so much smooshed. So, I raised the roots a little bit. Again, checking everything on the renderer. And continuing to work with the guides. Here, we need to add another guide to make it easier to control everything. And of course, to keep the hair out of this area, we fill the gap with guides. Next, let's work with these guides. We need to remove the intersection and set the right direction. Now we need to fix this guide. Another thing that confuses me is this. I want to check the mask and check it against the references. Yes, it does, though it needs a little fixing. Don't forget to choose a brush with sharp edges, and its transparency should be 100%. After I finish the mask, I continue to work with the guides. Here, again, I continue my analysis of references. Checking how the back of the head looks in the rendering. We see that the area near the ear is too bald. Also, the hair covers the collar, not under it. I also noticed a layer of hair in this area, which creates about this kind of pattern. Turn off the renderer and continue working. It's funny that on the other reference, the hair goes under the armor, so I decided to use this option, which makes more sense. As you remember, we have a bald area behind the ear. So you have to work with these guides. Here, I am doing an analysis of what can be done with this area. Yes, I think we can already hide the rest of the hair and get to work. Filling in the big gaps between guides. And make them longer to cover the baldness. We also need to add variety to clumping. For this, create a separate mask. Okay, I don't want an obvious clump on the temples. That's why I choose such an alpha. And making brush settings. The shade is closer to gray. We draw about this way. That is, you should have shades of white, gray and even black. Because of this, there will be variety. With this alpha, we paint over the entire area of the head, periodically increase and decrease the radius of the brush, and of course, making a different shade. Be sure to save the mask with the Save Textures button. We also upload this mask to Clump. Here I am again, doing an analysis of the reference and my result. And of course, what is without a renderer? Remember, this is where the top layer should be. Okay, there's still work to be done with the temporal part. As a reminder, guides must cover the mask. So now, I'm going to work with this part. Another point which I want to improve on. It is an obvious way forward in the center of the hair. I'm checking to see what happens. And I analyze the references. If you liked this video, don't forget to write about it in the comments, put a like and subscribe to the channel. To be continued. See you soon. Peace, everybody.